So today we're going to talk about percents, and we're going to talk about the percent proportion. So first of all, percent, the definition of it, percent means like per 100, because a cent is 1/100th of a dollar. Okay, so it's a ratio that it compares a number to 100. Now, what I have down here is a little triangle that I use to always solve these problems, and it works every time. And I just remember it goes is of percent. Okay, is of percent. It actually goes alphabetical if you think about it, because percent is P. So I'm always going to use this triangle when we're solving things today. Okay, and so, just a second, let me go up here real quick. I'm going to copy that. All right, so now, first of all here it says express each percent as a fraction or a mixed number. So I see 79%. So when you hear that you've got 79%, how could you write that as a fraction? 79 over 100. Now can I reduce down 79 over 100? No, nothing goes into 79 and 100 evenly, so that's my final answer. And in fact, when you take your tests for me, this is pretty much how things are going to be. You're going to have 100-point tests. So that's why however many points you get out of 100 is your percent. 107%. How can I write that as a fraction? 107 over 100. Now remember, if you remember what I said, I don't require you to write that in mixed number form. So you could leave it alone because you can't divide those two evenly with any number. So you can leave that. Next one, 0.5%. Ooh, this is a good one. How can I write that as a fraction? Yeah.
5 over 1,000.
Yep. So basically, for those of you that are wondering, well, how do you get that? Okay, here you go. It's 0.5 over 100, because remember, I take whatever number this is, put it over 100. Now, the problem is we never mix decimals and fractions. That's kind of like taboo. It's like something you don't do. Okay, it's kind of like mixing your dessert with your main course. You just don't do it. And so here, I don't mix these. So here's my decimal here. Okay, and so what I need to do is if I move it one space up here, I've got to move it one space down here. And so if you notice by moving it, that makes that the number 5 over 1,000. Now I need to think, is there a number that divides both of those evenly? Yeah, what goes into both? 5. 5 goes into 5. 5 goes into 1,000? 200. So really, 0.5% is 1 over 200. Now the amazing thing about 0.5%, if any of you have like savings accounts, that's probably what you're getting on your money. It's only about 0.5%, not very much. Okay, so let's go ahead and look at this. Oh, here's the favorite one. Okay, so anyway, what I'm going to do right now, okay, hopefully, oh, gotta do this one. I'm going to go ahead and solve the following. There we go. Okay, is of percent is what I'm going to use here. It says 40%. Oh, so where would 40% go? It'd go in the percent, right? So I'm going to put the 40 down here. So I'm going to change that percent to 40. And I need to write that as a percent, so I'm going to write that as 0.40. Okay. Another way, how else could I write percent? Instead of writing that as 0.4, how else could I write that? 40 over 100, right? But I'm just going to write that as 0.4. Of 30, that means I'm going to put the 30 right there. And then if you notice here, the question is, what do you do with those two numbers? Well, since they're on the bottom and they're together, I'm going to multiply it. If I would have had one on the top, one on the bottom, what do you think I would have done? Divided it, because it kind of looks like a fraction. So here, all I'm going to do to solve this problem is take 30 times 0.4. So take 30 times 0.4, and what do you get? 12. And that is your answer. Now, I know some of you learned a way to write like expressions or actually write equations, and you would do like 40 over 100. Of means times 30. Yeah, you can still do that. That's another way. I'm just showing you, I know you've done plenty of those problems. I'm showing you another way that maybe if it's been confusing to you in the past, maybe this will be the thing that just makes it click. All right, let's look at this one. 16 is what percent of 40? So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and Remember, my triangle is of percent. 16 is, where do you think the 16 is going to go?
No.
16 is. It goes up here on the top, so that means 16 is on the top. What percent of 40? Where's the 40 go? Of. So here I'm finding a percent, so my final answer needs to be as a percent. So what am I going to do with the 16 and the 40? Divide it. Take 16 divided by 40, what do you get? 16 divided by 40. Point what? 0.4 even. So 0.40. Now notice my answer says percent, so I need to write this as a percent. What would 0.40? It'd be 40%. Okay. Let's look at another one, and then I'm going to get you going with the expressions. Find 10% of 95. So once again, if you had your is of percent, there you go. 10%, where's that going to go? At the percent, and I'm going to write that as 0.10. Of 95, where's that going to go? Of. And that means 95. What are you going to do with the 0.1 and the 95? Multiply them. And so what do you get when you multiply those two? 9.5. So if these haven't made sense before in the past, maybe this triangle will help. If you want to do them the other way you've learned them, that's fine with me as well. We've got a few expression problems right now, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put the assignment up and stop the video, and we're going to do the expression ones in class. Okay? So, here we go. Assignment's going to be pages 21 through 22, 2 through 30, the evens, and that'll be due Monday.